I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
On FBC News tonight, three-member international team starts work on needs assessment of elections office. Kiribati buys land in Vanua Levu, seeking refuge from the effects of climate change. And Gander Shipping boasts a second $1 million vessel. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade and you're watching FBC News. A three-member international team comprising electoral experts has started a gap analysis and needs assessment of the Fiji Elections Office from today. Acting Prime Minister Homicide has announced the process, which begins today, will identify capacity building for our elections office as we head towards elections in close to 14 months. Said Kayum says this is crucial to prepare the country for transparent elections in 2014.
We have Melissa Thorpe from the New Zealand Elections Office. We have a gentleman by the name of Carl Dundas, who is an electoral expert, who's been in the business for over 20-30 years. And we have Etienne Clay from the EU. So they'll be here for at least the next couple of weeks, carrying out a gap analysis, needs assessment.
The Minister for Elections says this process will draw up recommendations for conducting elections in best international practices. The report from this assessment will help international partners fund areas that need assistance.
Identifying areas where materials need to be provided, from very basic things like internationally accepted ballot boxes. As you know, that previously we had wooden ballot boxes that had a number of problems with it, as identified in the EU, that ballot papers were stuffed in the ballot boxes. So these ballot boxes we intend to have will be boxes that you can't tamper with.
Kiribati has bought land in Fiji as rising sea levels threaten to submerge the entire island nation. Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Said Kayum made the revelation today at the first ever regional joint meeting for the Pacific's disaster risk management and climate change. The plight of smaller countries like Kiribati was the highlight of today's meeting. And as Christopher Chan tells us, Kiribati has bought land in Vanua Levu.
The Pacific has a rich culture. This was proudly showed off to participants this morning before the reality of climate change sunk in.
As many of you will know, Kiribati has already bought 6,000 acres of land in Vanua Levu, Fiji's second largest island, to guarantee its food security as its own arable land is swamped by rising tides. It's a sobering thought indeed when we start talking about the need to prepare for a scenario in which the nation of Kiribati largely exists within the borders of Fiji.
The challenge for the Pacific is to make the world realize that climate change will be catastrophic for our countries.
In short, we badly need the international community to stop talking about climate change and start acting. The days of global dab fests that expand hot air, one might say, and little else are over. We need a concerted global effort to tackle the problem before, in our case, it is too late.
The manner in which natural disasters are affecting us is one of the immediate issues relating to climate change.
Last year, Fiji declared a state of disaster over flooding and landslides that killed at least 6 people and displaced many thousands more. Over 8,000 people sought refuge in evacuation centres organised by government through the National Disaster Management Office.
Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent. Together with rising sea levels, this combination will not only cripple our economies, but become a threat to life. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
And Chris now joins us live from the West. Chris, tell us more about why Kiribati has bought land in Fiji.
Climate change is a long-term threat to the island atoll, and Kiribati President Anote Tong has predicted his country will likely become uninhabitable in 30 to 60 years because of inundation and contamination of its freshwater supplies. They had been negotiating to buy land in Fiji for a few years, and we have been told today that they have already bought land in Vanua Levu, where the people would migrate due to the threat of rising sea levels. This will become the world's first climate-induced migration of modern times, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Christopher. The Solomon Islands are not celebrating just another anniversary, but the challenges it faced and survived as a unified nation. Prime Minister Wanga Bainimarama made the statement today as chief guest at the 35th Independence Day celebrations in Honiara. He says the Solomon Islands is a determined nation that worked towards improving the lives of its citizens despite many challenges.
We look back at some very difficult times, the tragedy of a nation divided by civil war and the resulting loss of life, the many challenges of restoring peace with the assistance of their neighbors, the renewal of stability and the continuing efforts to rebuild their institutions and their economy.
Bainimarama also paid tribute to Fijian soldiers who served in the Solomon Islands.
Fijians spilled their blood here resisting the Japanese advance in World War II. 50 Fijian soldiers died here during the Solomon's campaign, and we remember their sacrifice with gratitude.
A plaque was unveiled at the end of the celebrations which read, "From the government and people of Fiji to the government and people of Solomon Islands on the 35th anniversary of your independence in solidarity and friendship." Investigation into a suspected homicide case in Korosomo Hill, Lambasa continues. No arrests have been made. However, police earlier told FBC News they have a few leads. The bodies of a 21-year-old university student and a 17-year-old high school student were found by a farmer by the roadside in Tambia outside Lambasa yesterday. The two deceased had visible injuries on their bodies, and police are not ruling out foul play. Good news for people living in the maritime provinces. Gander Shipping Services has today introduced its second vessel, the MV Lomaiviti Princess II, which the company says will improve the standard of shipping services to the outer islands. Chanel Sivan reports.
Sailing in the next few weeks, this is the $1.3 million Lomaiviti Princess II.
We hope that these people of Kandavu will enjoy this vessel. This vessel will be going to Kandavu, and Lau Group will be hoping resuming operation for Vunbalavidia in the third week or the last week of this month. And hopefully that all our surveys with the MCF within the next 2 weeks goes okay, and we'll get cleared to sail within 2 weeks.
Catering 400 passengers, company director George Gander says this vessel is the answer to long-time shipping problems.
There's more to come for the islanders, and I would praise and thank the islands that we are coming. Kandavu, we are coming to you. We might put 2 ships into Kandavu, and there'll be a lot of battle for Kandavu, Koro. We have 2 ships running to Koro. The Lau Group will be going to Lau, and we'll work with the government next week sometime to see about Ratuma.
The acquiring of this vessel signifies the shipping company's progress, creating more employment and even a pay rise in store for the staff of Gander Shipping.
We'll be having a review on the wages next week or so, and I promised them that the wages increase by another month. And because this is their achievement, this is what they brought this company up. I had nothing, they brought this company up, and they deserve, and they own part of this company.
Gander Shipping believes this new addition will answer to the vows of many in the outer islands and also create competition. But one thing is for certain, that the people will benefit from this. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Landowners in Monasavu have raised their concerns about why their lawyer Israeli Fa engaged an overseas lawyer without their consent. Apisalamidoka reports.
Landowners in Monasavu are fuming after their lawyer Israeli Fa revealed on FBC News he had engaged an overseas lawyer in the Monasavu court case.
Sen sana bati bora utaka tuongo mena bili tale vir na itugengele me kuringa ninra bunra bua me satuna nona ibot bota tutelanga nona ibot bota na loya lei baka utama ibot bonotani ko kima mi shen ndu bata kina nona ka bika e baka dorro kwa.
You know, if Mr. Veritariki was closely following the case and had a genuine concern about what was happening with the landowner's case, he would be fully aware of the facts of the case, and he would understand why another council had to be engaged.
FAR says in 2010, when FEA summoned the landowners in regards to the distributions of money, they also summoned FAR and company. He says this was where an overseas lawyer was engaged.
Na bukan robota gili bungo. Ke pakai sengani te rawato ko me wala takana kisi. Kakun le ko tatalamin na lawyer sauli po di me mai sauma.
I am a trustee for these funds, and what that necessitated was that there had to be a separate engagement. There had to be a separate counsel who acted for me. I am entitled to defend myself in my capacity as a trustee, and my defense of myself becomes an expense of the trust, which has to be paid out of the trust funds. That's according to law.
FAR says they expect to start distributions by September. Apisolome Doka, FBC News.
In the news ahead, Lavaca Primary School students Japan bound.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today's hit music. What's up?
Nisambulo binaka oya wane kamanalangi oni nandorungo diao may nadiwa kinarua na bisinga may namoniti kinabagarumbu kay na Radio Fiji 1 nandomay biti bongani biyanyano na makatalangana bengo na sasibiani na tinakaloka na bimbongi ni bukilulu kay na bima maniwalo na bimbongi ni bakarawai may nambuza ni balo ningay namaka.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. 50 representatives from around the region have converged for the 12th Pacific Science Inter-Congress at USP in Suva this week. Discussions will surround various issues affecting the sustainable development and security of Pacific countries. Speaking at the launch today, Chief Guest Ratu Epeli Nalatikau said participants will play a key role in addressing the challenges each country face and the need to reinforce regional cooperation. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
The Pacific Science Association was formed in 1920 with a key role of addressing issues crucial to the development of countries. While addressing guests today, the President used climate change as an example of issues affecting a vast majority of people around the region.
To not only discuss the advancements in science, technology and engineering, but more importantly, to also ensure that these advancements are used to address the real issues facing the region.
With the theme Human Security and Sustainable Development, Ratu Epeli says the onus is on participants of the Congress to address key issues with answers that work.
In your efforts to develop the science of the Pacific, I encourage you to explore solutions and be result-oriented, to translate the outcomes of your meeting into easily understood messages that can be used by our people to improve their everyday lives now and in the future.
The Pacific Science Inter-Congress ends on Friday. Wasita Kotiwasawasa, FBC News.
Inmates Solomon Ngurai and Iso Wanga reappeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this morning. They both escaped from the Nambora Maximum Security Prison last year. Ngurai and Wanga both pleaded guilty to charges of damaging property, but not guilty to charges of theft, resisting arrest and criminal intimidation. Chief Magistrate Usaira Tuvili will sentence the pair for damaging property on the 22nd of this month. At that time, he will also set a trial date for the last 3 charges. 4 students of Lavaca Primary School have the opportunity of a lifetime. They will represent Fiji at the 25th Asia-Pacific Children's Convention in Fukuoka, Japan. Epeli Tokoasa reports.
These students will showcase Fiji's traditions and culture during the meet in Japan.
Our children are developing their culture, their drama aspects, their communication skills, and they go and become ambassadors of Fiji, where they share knowledge and experience of Fiji with other countries.
The students and their head teacher will not only attend the convention, but will also visit historical sites. The tour is being paid for by the Japanese cultural group.
Some of the art pieces, artifacts we are going to display in our booth that's there. So we were preparing the items and also some of our cultural pieces like that, art and craft.
I'm so excited about this trip because I want to go and see their culture and see what they say about Japan.
These students will leave this Friday for the 14-day tour. Epeli Tuguasa, FBC News.
Time to welcome Jamie now. And with FRU HPU manager Mike Ryan resigned, what is the latest?
Well, still no official word yet on why Ryan has decided to leave or when he'll be leaving for that matter. We'll have more on this after the break, but also tonight, football's BOG moves to Lambasa. Stay with us for the details.
Bola, oya wasala bilawa. Do bata ki au mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vagaromboka. Kako ni valatana no musini sari na kaisa moriando loloma leone vani ni nau omgori ke de mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vagaromboka and Bula FM number 2 and sere.
सूरज की पहली किरण के साथ दिन की शुरुआत कीजिए। सुबह का मंगल प्रभात आपको शुभ हो। सुबह सुबह हो खुशियों का मेला, ना लोगों की परवाह ना दुनिया का झमेला, पंछियों का संगीत हो और मौसम अलबेला। मुबारक हो आपको ये खूबसूरत सवेरा। हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक सुबह 6 से लेकर 9 बजे तक शामिल रहें रेडियो फिजी 2 पर हम सफर में रविंद्र सिंह के साथ।
Welcome back to FBC Sports. First up tonight, the last working day at Rugby House for Fiji Rugby Union High Performance Unit Manager Mike Ryan is yet to be determined. Despite submitting his resignation to FRU Chief Executive Manasa Maravilala last Friday, Ryan says there are projects he wishes to complete. It is understood he may still remain with the FRU for at least another month. So far, Ryan has implemented selection policies, the contracting of Fiji's Sevens players, and building a player database on the FRU server. But it's the new senior rugby competition structure proposed by Ryan, which will be interesting if followed through properly after his departure. Last week, Ryan stated the dire need for Fiji rugby to mimic the structures used by Tier 1 nations. Meanwhile, come Thursday, the board is expected to discuss Ryan's resignation and matters regarding the upcoming Pacific Mini-Games coaching panel and team. The Escort Shield has been around since the Suva Rugby Union was formed in 1913, and today the union celebrated the 100th year of the coveted trophy with celebrations right here in the city. Talendao Dakadaka reports.
Suva City came to a standstill today to honor one of its iconic sporting titles. For those that have played rugby in Suva, there is a certain prestige that comes from challenging for the Escort Shield.
An honor, very honored to win the Escort Shield in 1970. And I was the captain in number 8. And during that time, the competition, it's very hard. You have to play clean, play hard, play fair, and play until the whistle blow.
Law was the captain of the 1970 St. John Maris Club that won the Shield, together with former Flying Fijians Pio Bosco Tikoisuva and John Rekuna, to name a few. Today's event was part of Suva Rugby's centennial celebrations. A special lottery was also launched for Suva supporters and will be drawn at the centennial dinner next month.
The lottery that was launched today is it's going only $100 tickets will be sold. It's going for $100 per ticket. There's 6 lucrative prizes. I think when you buy the tickets, then you'll see the prizes on the tickets. It's also, when you buy a ticket, you also get a free entry into the centennial dinner, which will be held on the 2nd of August, at the eve of the Escort Shield finals at the Novotel in Lami.
What a year it has been for Suva Rugby. Today was a chance for fans and officials alike to celebrate past achievements. And with what they have achieved thus far, the future sure looks bright. Chalendo Dakavaka, FBC Sports.
After months of training, the time has come for the Fiji Police Rugby League team to defend their Forces World Cup title in England. They've adapted to the cold weather conditions, which are as low as 12 to 14 degrees, and will take on Australia in the opening match at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning in Leeds. They're also confident a huge Fiji crowd will be there to support the defending champions.
Came all the way from Scotland and Wales, and as you know, that Leeds is 4 hours drive up north from London. Our Fijians in the British Army from London came up and joined us at the training session to motivate the boys and assure their support. For that, the Fiji's High Commission, Solomara, will be here tomorrow to watch the boys play, and that is a moral booster for the boys.
Although Australia comes off a win, the Fiji Police Sharks are all ready for their first clash.
Since Australia beat England on Friday by 56 points to 18. But the points has not deterred the boys. They know the importance of the task ahead and our mission, which has been set from Fiji, and that is to defend and retain the title.
And it's important Fiji wins this match, as they will only have Great Britain to play on Thursday in a round-robin competition. The second major football tournament of the year will now be played in Lambasa and Ba. The Ink Mobile Battle of the Giants was to have been played in Nausori and Ba, but things have changed. Hezeda Singh reports the northern fans will cash in on some top-class football action.
Out comes Rololo, in comes Rusia de Maderorenga, and
Nausori's loss is Lambasa's gain. This after Fiji Football Association confirmed the second major tournament of the year will now be held in the north before moving to Ba.
We had always said that we'll take a tournament, but it so happened the waterfront Fiji factory we couldn't take it. The Lambasa Town Council said the ground was booked. And Nausori Town Council has told us that the Ratudakambao Park won't be ready for Battle of Giants in August.
There is also good news for the two Super Premier teams which will not feature in the top grade.
Two Super Premier districts, that's Tavua and Savu will be included in the Battle of Giants, and they will be playing in the Premier Division with the winners of Vitilevu, that is Nasinu, and also the winner from Anoa Levu that will be included in the Battle of Giants.
Malakai Rakula races away into the box. Malakai Rakula.
Fiji FA says the performance of teams this season has shown there is a lot to look forward to. And the National League is proving to be the highlight of expecting things to come at the BOG.
League, with the format and everything, few changes we did this year, and Super 8 to be the top Super 8 will be considered from next year. We knew it's going to be exciting, and thanks to Fiji Sun GP Batteries National League, that it is getting exciting. And
didn't quite connect. In comes Sanders trailing through.
The pool draws for the BOG should be done within the next fortnight, and then all eyes will be on the second major of the year. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Ba's 3-0 win over Navo yesterday sees the side lead the Fiji Sun GP Batteries National Football League points table. 3 strikes from Sunny Issa saw the men in black take over the standings. The side has played fewer games than other teams and will be looking at maintaining its lead this weekend. Suba is now second, followed by former leaders Nandi. And that was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now for business.
Fiji has little opportunity for company directors to learn better management. As a result, the Australian Institute of Company Directors has established a committee in Fiji to meet the demands of its members here. Shireen Lata reports.
There are hundreds of company directors in Fiji, but not many have the proper skill. This may change with the establishment of the AICD chapter in the country.
Now, why we want to establish in Fiji is that to have a contact point, to have a one-stop shop for company directors in Fiji to have access to that information.
Last year, around 15 company directors went overseas to obtain skills in good governance. Now, hopes are to offer these courses locally.
This can be an opportunity, a forum whereby future directors can be selected. For you to become a chartered accountant, you have to become a member of Fiji Institute of Accountants. So similarly, in the long run, we'll be able to have directors who are members of this sort of Institute of Company Directors.
Nazab Farid says a lot of companies are emerging each year. Therefore, duties of company directors also change.
At this stage, we are planning to launch our first governance course in late September or early October, whereby at least around 50 local participants are allowed to take part in that course, which will be conducted from somebody from Australia who is a facilitator from Australian Institute of Company Directors.
Currently, 45 company directors in Fiji are members of the IICD. Shahin Lata, FBC News.
And our favorite weather lady joins us now. Jen, how are things going on the weather front?
Fine weather throughout the country is how things are going, Jackie. The capital did have some clouds and showers today. That was after lunch and only for a short while. Let's see how temperatures fared. Well, it looks like all the major centers were in the 30s today, except for Savusavu, who on 28 degrees had the day's lowest. The highest was Lavaca on 32. And it seems that tomorrow's weather will be a mixed bag, with clouds and showers throughout Fiji and sunny conditions in the morning for the west. Speaking of the west, a very big hello to the lovely staff from Lavaca Hotel, as well as Emmeline and Esther Singh, who love watching FBCTV. Now for today's photo, and Lino Ruthumu Jr. is today's star photographer. Here's a breathtaking shot that sort of reminds me of the movie Blue Hawaii. That's weather. Thanks for joining me. Do stay safe and smiling. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And the headlines again, a 3-member international team starts work on needs assessment of elections office. Kiribati buys 6,000 acres of land in Vanua-Levu, seeking refuge from the effects of rising sea levels, and Gander Shipping boasts a second $1 million vessel. Now for the results of last week's poll question, we asked, should Fiji develop more relationships with other non-aligned countries apart from Russia? 80% of you said yes. This week's question is, are public transport buses in Fiji safe to travel in? To take part in our weekly poll, visit www.fbc.com.fj. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's your Monday night news. Until tomorrow, Modamanta.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, मिर्ची रफ्तार से मैं अश्निल सिंह। शामिल हो जाइए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे फ्रॉम 3 to 7 PM।